Hello, hello. How's it going, everybody? Sorry we didn't start immediately at 10. I like to be punctual, but it didn't work out today. First off, thank you so much for coming. If you are here, I actually can't see everybody right now. Hold on, let me see if I can look right here. Yeah, I'm not even sure if anybody's in here. Yeah, it doesn't look like anybody's in here right now, but it's okay because I am ready for a good time. I think this is going to be really, really cool. This is actually the very first stream of the Finish Your Comic Club. Let me just tell you what that's about. Just to let you all know, this is a club that I created designed specifically to hold accountable and also encourage aspiring artists who are struggling with completing their comics and anything else in regards to that. I have been trying to think of something else that I can do. I came up with a bunch of ebooks before. I've, done this, I've done that, and I've been trying to think of just something that I could do that might actually be of helpful, just something that could help more people all at once. And I figured that, starting up a community would be a good way to do that. So that way everybody can, talk to each other, everybody can encourage each other, everybody can help each other out. And I just figured that would be the best way to do it. So that is the reason why I started this club, or at least that's one of the main reasons why I started this club. 1 second. All right. But if you all want to check out this club, obviously, as you can tell, I have something below me that's saying you can check out the link. That link goes to my Patreon. I will show you my Patreon right here. Yes. All right. So here is my Patreon. If you come right here, you will see the Join Your Finish Your Comic Club for $5 a month. Inside of this club, you get a bunch of stuff. Obviously, there's a bunch of other like random perks, like you get all of Chicken Fight, for instance. And I also created an exclusive gift specifically for the members of the Finish Your Comic Club. So if you want to check out that gift, then definitely, do this. But yeah, you get a lot. Obviously, the main thing is you get a Facebook group link that goes to this community where now you can introduce yourself. You can talk to all the other artists. You can tell them what you're working on. You can hold yourself accountable by constantly posting and making sure that you are meeting the deadlines that you're setting for yourself. Obviously, if you have any questions or if you have anything that might be hindering you or anything that might be coming up, that is what we're here for. To hold everybody accountable and also to make sure that everybody is doing something in regards to this club and not just being here and taking up space. I am making it a mandatory thing for work in progress posts. That's going to be a work on progress Wednesday, WIP Wednesday. Every Wednesday, everybody's going to post a panel or page of what you're working on. And if there's something that might be, hindering you from finishing it, or something that might be, more difficult than normal, or maybe it's going really, really simple. Maybe it's not a comic. Maybe you're, an animator, for instance, and you want to, do something like that. I know that I have a patron of mine that currently animates as opposed to drawing comics. So if that's the case, maybe you're working on a project like that. Whatever the case may be, the fact is on Wednesdays, you have to post, hey, this is what I'm working on. This is what I'm stuck. This is where I'm, succeeding. This is, what I need help in. What do you guys think? You need to be social inside of this club in order for it to work. So that is one of the main things that I love about this club, the fact that it's going to hold everybody accountable. Not only that, but also, obviously, there's going to be a lot of live streams. So this is the first of hopefully many. And, even though I know right now there's probably not anybody watching me, I think that it is going to be a blast. And hopefully more people will come in. I know that, these, starting it at 10 p.m. is kind of iffy, especially because, it's Sunday night, Monday's tomorrow. I'm sure that everybody's going to be going to work and all of that. So this might not be something that you had in mind to watch. And if you are watching it, I just want to say thank you so much. I really appreciate it. You could have been anywhere. You could have been sleeping. You could have been watching NCIS or SVU or whatever, but you're watching me if you're watching me. So thank you very much. I really appreciate it. So let's just get to it. Today we are going to be actually reading an old comic of mine. For the Finisher Comic Club, like I said, we're going to have live streams every week. Every live stream is going to be different. So the first week we're going to be reading your comic. If you're a member, depending on how many comics get sent to me, I'm going to try to choose 3 of them. And out of those 3, I'm going to, read a certain amount of pages. I'm going to, have fun, critique them, joke around, all that jazz, and, give advice. Make sure that, you come out of it knowing what you should do moving forward. And I don't know, maybe a rating or just something to help you out. So like that's one thing that I think that I'm going to be doing for these live streams. The second thing that we're going to be doing, or the second week of live streams, is going to be drawing and hanging out. So I can't wait for those types of streams because there's a lot of images that I have in my head that I would love to draw. I think it'd be really fun to maybe do commissions or, just hang out and draw, drink and draw, whatever. I think it'd just be really, really fun to have a stream where I'm going through the Facebook group, depending on, how many group members we have. And, I can, answer questions if you have any questions, any of that jazz. Like that's kind of like the idea that I have for the second week. But it's mainly just drawing and, hanging out. The third week is going to be teaching a particular lesson that you all are going to be voting on. So if you are a member, then once you get into the Facebook group, you will actually see a poll at the top. It's going to be pinned in the featured section. So you can go to that tab if you don't see it at the top. But basically, after you vote on that, depending on what topic it is, at the third week, that's what I'm going to be teaching. So that's what the live stream is going to be for that. And then the last week, the fourth week of the month, are usually going to be live streams where I'm either reading my comic or I'm just doing something else, maybe in regards to the group, looking at everything, answering questions, all that jazz. But today we're going to be reading my comic because it is the 4th week of July. So with that said, the first comic that we are going to be reading is Out with a Bang. So let's get to it. So first off, let me just say that when I first came up with this comic, I actually was doing it for, I think it was like a Shonen Jump competition. It did not work. I did not win. I did not get far at all. I realized after finishing it, all of the mistakes that I had made and everything that I should have done. And, I'm going to share that with you all here today. So, hopefully you guys will learn from my mistakes and you won't, do what I did if you ever come across something like this. Also, excuse me, I've been having a runny nose all day, so I'm going to be blowing my nose through all this. Oh, man. All right. So let's get to it. So this says, K, here you go. Tara, where did you get this? Oh, that? Haha. Some nice old man gave it to me. Cool, huh? I told him what we were going through, and then boom, he insisted on giving me food. All right, so what we see right here are 2 girls. They're eating some bread, and yeah. When I first came up with this idea for this page, anyway, I thought it was a really good idea. And, I even thought that adding the smoke cloud as like a hint that what she's saying isn't actually what happened would be a really cool way of kind of nodding to the reader, hey, this is what's really happening. But I should have just shown her trying to get this bread from like this old gentleman or whatever, but whatever, I'll get into that later on. One of the main things that I hate about this page that I realize every single time I look at this now is the perspective. I was not actually trying to do anything perspective-wise, but clearly, like this is completely off, and it just doesn't really look that good to me, and I hate it. So that's one. Another thing is when it comes to the colors, I really actually like the colors, especially because they're all traditional. I did this with, I think, Prismacolor markers, if I'm not mistaken, and I think the blending went really well. I think I did a really good job with like the night scene. So yeah, I mean, overall, I think this looks pretty decent, but yeah, just in terms of storytelling wise, I should have showed more. I think it would have made more of an impact in like the emotions later on as well. So I'll probably get into that later. I'll be talking about that. You'll see. So. But anyway, this is the next page. It says, really? That was nice. Yeah, he said he wanted to give me more, but his wife would have yelled at him. Haha. Now, come on, eat. Come on and eat up, Kay. And then they eat. Chomp, chomp. Thanks, Tara. You're the best sister ever. I'll always protect you, Sarah. All right. Again, I really like this page, mainly because of the colors. Overall, I think the biggest thing that I have, the biggest issue I have with this is just the story wise. When I first did this, like I said, it was for Shonen Jump, and I had this idea in my head, which is, let me do something that's going to be like super action packed. This is going to be, super, I don't know, just in your face. That was kind of like the idea that I had, and it is not at all what I should have done. And I could have made this particular comic reflect the idea that I have and what I should have been, but it just didn't come out that way. So, I mean, it seems really vague me saying this as opposed to just explaining it. But as I read this comic, there's going to be a particular scene or later on where I'm going to be kind of touching on this a little bit more. But in short, let me just say that I should have shown the interactions with this kid getting the bread, and I think that would have made it a little bit more dramatic. It would have made it even more impactful when everything else happens later on in the story. So that is the biggest critique that I have. But in terms of just aesthetically, I think it looks pretty. I think it looks pretty decent. I also drew this traditionally, so that's pretty interesting. I drew it traditionally, but then I scanned it and I did a lot of other stuff to enhance it and make it look better. So, all right. Before I continue, let me see if there's any. Yeah. Okay. 1 second. Sorry. One second. Okay. All right. So after that happens, 10 years pass. All right. 10 years later, we see all these rock formations. I really enjoyed drawing this comic. This was a really fun one to do. I always had an idea for a Western, and this was always one of the most fun ideas that I had ever come up with. And if I can ever come back to this, I would love to do it. I think that'd be really fun. But you see this guy, he's running away from this person on this horse. It says, oh God, oh God, oh God, oh God, oh God. Now, like I was saying, that is before you started running. Man, all right, so he gets yanked by this lasso. Oh man, his hat flies away. Gee whiz. Okay, all right. So this is Sarah. This is the girl from the beginning. She is extremely strong. She is carrying this guy with one hand, at least, I don't know, 5 feet off the ground, like maybe higher depending on how tall this horse is. Gee whiz, like this girl is strong. Like she says, do you know where Jacksontown is? Jacksontown. I hate having runny noses. It sucks. All right, she said, "Do you know where Jacksontown is? Is this a trick question? You just blew up their bank, not even a day ago." "Well, that explains why you were running. Look, TNT, please don't kill me. I'm not TNT Terra." All right, and then yep, she's my twin sister. And she pulls out a wanted poster and she shows a picture of TNT Terra. And then she drops him and says, "We look exactly the same, except for one thing." And then she points to her mole. "I have a mole, so don't get it twisted. My name is Sarah, and I'm not a criminal." Okay, so I always thought that was a cool concept, to have a twin who, as a bounty hunter, constantly gets arrested because their other twin has a bounty on them. Like, I always thought that was an interesting concept, and that is the reason as to why, you know, this story is around. So give me a second. Let me read. Oh man, it is. It's been a long day. It's gonna be a long night, and I'm excited for it. So I figured Red Bull. Like this usually helps me stay awake. So I'll have this right now, and you know I can kick it after all this. So I also have water. I have a water bottle, but I need a kick right now. So that's the reason why I drank that. All right. So if I keep on going, she says she's not a criminal, and then right after that, she's saying, "Are you still scared?" And he says, "Well, you did just pick me up with one hand." See, yes, okay, all right. So I'm glad I at least acknowledge how strong this lady is inside of this comic. Like this is an old comic, but like it's not so old that like I didn't understand exactly what I was doing. At least, I do. When did I draw this? It had to be like 2014 is when I drew this. So it's been about 12 years ago, but yeah, it was you know, I knew what I was doing, but it just, I didn't know everything that I was doing. Like I've definitely gotten better, and I'm glad for that, obviously, but it's just, man, whatever. So I'm glad that he at least noticed and at least mentioned that she's super strong. If you are a member of the Finisher Comic Club, like I said, there's an exclusive gift, and inside of this exclusive gift, it actually is an old comic of mine that was from 20 years ago when I was like in 8th or 9th grade, and there's a lot of crazy things inside of that comics, and like I don't even recognize that I put it in there. So all that to say is I definitely am happy that I have Sarah recognizing how strong she is, and it's not just some one-off thing, because that's always a really weird thing when it comes to comics. Like when the character does something that is clearly like out of the ordinary, but like it's never talked about, that means it has to be normal, right? But if it's normal, then that means that everybody has it. But if that's the case, then why even show it? Like, I mean, you know, unless it's like, I don't know. I feel like I'm going on a rant at this point. Like, this is just kind of ridiculous. I'm just glad that I was able to, you know, talk and have Sarah talk and say that she actually has this, you know, strength, because if it was just unexplained, then you'd just be thinking to yourself, man, this girl is just super strong for no reason. So, but anyway, she says, whatever, is there anything I can is there anything you can tell me, you know, about where she might be now? Honestly, ma'am, I really couldn't say. Sorry. All right, trying to add a little bit of accent, and then boom, a giant explosion. Never mind, that pretty much answers my question. That trick is nuts. I'm out of here. All right, Sonny, are you ready? We've got a bounty to catch. All right, so the reason why she's so strong is because she is a bounty hunter. And I guess in this world, bounty hunters are like superheroes or something like that regard. All right, it says, meanwhile. Yeah, I really like the tones and the extra added textures and all that other stuff that I added to this. This looks really cool. I did a really good job with this. Every time I look at this comic, I'm always like just brought back to the fun I had drawing this, because it was all drawn traditionally, and then after I scanned it, like I said earlier, I added some other stuff to make it pop out a little bit better, like this sound effect, for instance. That's all digital. So, but anyway, they are looking at this fire, and then zoom in on this TNT, and then boom, giant explosion. And then everybody's running. All right, this is also during the time I had just finished up Chicken Fight a couple years ago at this point, because like I said, this is 2014. Chicken Fight ended in 2011, something in that regard. And inside of Chicken Fight, there's a character. His name is Bo Jenkins. Bo Jenkins, at the very end of Chicken Fight, in like chapter 12, I have him in a suit, and he actually is saying something like has an interview for a job. And I wanted that to be kind of like a small nod to all of the mega fans that are paying attention, or like just really like my art stuff, my art style, and like my stories. Oh man. And the reason why I have that as a nod is because I have Bo Jenkins pop up in a lot of different things. I have him in a bunch of Michael Jackson posters that I drew, like as a backup dancer. I have him inside of this comic right here as like somebody running. I kind of envision this entire comic being like a movie, and this is just like he started acting, and like he's acted in music videos, he's acted in movies, he's acted in this, he's acted in that. So like that's kind of like a small little nod to everybody that just likes my stuff. If you can look through my comics and find a Bo Jenkins, then there you go. Like it's always a pretty cool not a MacGuffin. I guess it could be a MacGuffin, but like it's more of like just a homage to Chicken Fight, my first story. So, but anyway, we go right here. We see everybody, they're running away from this giant explosion, and then we see this guy says, "Everybody, just focus on getting the hell out of town. Sheriff, I just got confirmation. The enforcer is coming. He should be arriving soon." "The enforcer?" "Affirmative. According to recent rumors, he just arrested Jackal. If the stories are true, then Jackal massacred the two towns just south of here. Apparently, he has an even higher bounty than TNT, probably because of his special ability. Yeah, Jackal's nasty business. Hopefully, the enforcer can lock TNT up just like he did with him." All right. So first off, I hope you guys are enjoying these accents because I guess I could just, read it outright, but what's the fun in that, right? I really, really liked the way I set this up, because I knew what I was trying to do. So when we get there, I'll probably elaborate, but let me just say right now, I really like how I was setting this up. So yeah. But let's keep going. Okay, hold on. Sorry, guys. All right, so the next page says, "Sheriff, she's way up there. Look. Crap, the bank's about to be blown up. TNT Terror, you're going down. Keep dreaming, cowboy. The only way I'll go is out with the bang." And thus the title of the title. Out with the bang. TNT Terror, a thief. All right. Just side note, I really like the fact that I, actually drew backgrounds inside of this comic. I was trying, like I said originally, this was for the Shonen Jump, competition tournament or whatever. I didn't even get in because I don't think it was an art thing. It was, like I said, it was it's a story thing, and I'll get into this a little bit more as the stream continues. But like I said, this entire comic was just like a giant scream. It's just in your face, like like look, speed lines, look, fight scenes, look, explosions. Like that's basically this entire comic, and it's not bad, but it's not Shonen Jump worthy. And all of that to say is, I at the time was just thinking, you know what, aesthetically, I just need to make it look as epic and amazing as possible. Granted, Shonen Jump comics look even better than this, but I have seen Shonen Jump comics that look worse. So I mean, even believe it or not, if you look at Wanted from Aichiro Oda, before he did One Piece, that his cowboy comic doesn't look as detailed as this. I mean, it's just not aesthetically as detailed, or in my opinion, I don't think it looks as good. However, I can 1000% tell you that story is way better than this story. And the reason why is because the story was like actually there. Like, it wasn't just like me inferring it. It wasn't just a giant fight scene inside of the Wanted comic. So knowing all of that now, if I could go back in time, I would have changed a lot of stuff. However, with that said, I'm very glad that I drew backgrounds inside of this comic, because I didn't normally do that, I didn't do it as confidently as it seems I did right here. So yeah, but whatever. Let me keep going. I feel like I'm ranting right now. All right, so the next one. Okay, so she is throwing these small little dots. I wish I would have done an extra panel showing like maybe her hand and like a small bomb coming from it, like the small little dots or whatever. Hold on, if we go right here, yeah, so she's not even gearing up for it right here. However, what I do like, I think I showed this in the next page. Yeah, I think I showed it in the next page. So I'll show it in a few seconds. But she throws that, and then it, she says boom, and everything explodes. You see these horses, and they're just like, oh no, and they're like, nay. And then she runs, and she jumps off the roof. And then she's running. You see this TNT skirt. I love this TNT skirt. I think that is one of the coolest ideas I've ever come up with. Like, and she has these gloves that are it was like friction gloves or something in that regard, where basically you just take the TNT skirt. You can just take one stick or three sticks, or however many sticks you want, and then you clap it on the TNT, and then it immediately fizzes up, and then you can throw it. So that's what she's doing right here. But I always thought that was a really cool idea. I still like that idea. I'm gonna use it one day. It's gonna be for TNT Terra. One day I'm gonna do another short story for this comic, and hopefully I can make it way better. But anyway, long story short, she is about to throw this at this building. I think it's the bank, if I'm not mistaken. And this lasso comes and it grabs her. She turns around. She's like, what? She says, huh? Sarah, is that you? Tara, I ain't gonna let you blow up another bank. Fine, that's cool, but this thing's still about to blow. Wanna lend me a hand? All right. Damn it, Tara. Then she pulls her. She drops it. And then, bam, giant explosion. And it sends her flying back. So after that, she says, that boom was big. Good thing you came to save me. Wait. What? I came to arrest you. You'd arrest your older sister? You're older by 4 minutes. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. I thought that banter was funny. It's ridiculous. Because I don't know. I've not been around a lot of twins. I assume that they have arguments like this if they're trying to pull rank or seniority. So that was my attempt of, creating a conversation between twins. So, yeah. Man, my nose. 4 minutes you're never going to have. That's hilarious. It says, shut up, Tara. I get arrested because no one believes you have a twin. So yeah, I'm putting you away, especially because you're a criminal and I'm a bounty hunter. Haha, that's pretty funny. Come on, sis. You really thinking about arresting me? That's kind of screwed up. Of course. And this ain't no laughing matter. Jail isn't funny. But if I go to jail, I ain't gonna be able to protect you. All right, I really like this setup as well. Mainly the fact that she is talking, like in this panel, she's talking to her. In this panel, she's like looking up, she's looking down. So I like that. But when you look right here, you can see them both looking at each other. You get to see their entire outfit. I really like the way I laid this out. And also when you look at the speed lines, they're actually not even going to the actual image within that panel. They're going to the girl who is standing outside of the panel. Same thing with this right here. So I really like that. I just thought that was a really cool layout. Maybe that's just me, but yeah. Protect me? Protect me? You're kidding. I haven't seen you in years. That is, unless I'm looking at a wanted list. I've been caught by hunters, arrested by sheriffs, shot at daily, and you're saying protect me? Terror, I've been fending for myself, making a living and a life without you for a long time. Even when we were kids, you never did nothing. Oh, that's right, except steal from innocent people and then lie about it from me. You're the worst sister ever. All right, so this is what I mean right here. She kind of hints at the fact that she's stealing from innocent people and never telling her. I should have shown that. I, kind of hinted at it a little bit. Like I said, inside of that first page, you got to see that giant billow of smoke in the background. But I should have shown that she was actually like stealing this from that old man, or going around and trying to steal other things. Maybe there should have been a small montage. Like, I don't know, I could have added it. I should have done something. But yeah, I'll probably address it a little more later on as well. But that's definitely one thing I wish I would have done inside of this particular comic. But mentioning right here, I thought that was a really clever way of kind of hinting at it. So, but anyway, after she says that, you see Tara. She thinks of her sister eating the bread. See? And then she gets angry. She stands up and she heads butter. She's like, ah. And she's like, you? And then she's like, take this. Shut up. Is that 2 TNT girls? Damn it. She must have got me harder than I thought. Where the hell is the enforcer? Ain't he supposed to help us? He was gonna put her away. Oi, did someone here call for the enforcer? Yeah, finally you're here. Is there something wrong? Boom. I love this entrance so much. This was, and then wait, hold on. He says, you might be a little shocked to see me. Ha 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 ha. But don't fret. That enforcer man told me to relay a message. Jackal killed me. Okay. All right. So first off, I just want to say, yes, I'm nerding out at my own comic. That's okay. This is totally fine. This is a comic I drew a long time ago. It's, if nothing else, this is just fun and exciting to look through again. It's always fun to look at your old stuff. So whatever. But yeah, I always really liked this entrance. This character was just pure chaos for me. I never thought of anything story wise for this character, and in all honesty, I would love to redraw him in another story, maybe a prequel or something, because he doesn't make this particular chapter. But I really enjoyed this particular sequence of events. But before I continue, 2 things. One, let me check something. Okay. All right. So one of the main reasons why I was earlier, I had put like something on my, hold on, let me do this real quick. Give me 1 second. Sorry. Okay. I had put on my Instagram a story, and on the story I actually was trying to see if you guys would think that Dio Brando from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure was actually saying the world or the worldo. This was a meme a while ago, and I just thought it was funny, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna do something like this because why not? This would be pretty cool. And my idea was to have the people that voted on that to come in to the stream, and then I would show them something, but I do not see them in the stream at the moment. Hold on, let me see one thing. Yeah, I don't see them at the stream for the moment. So because of that, I'm going to leave that surprise for the future. maybe if these streams start picking up and people are coming through, then I will show the surprise that I was going to be showing you all. But before I do that, let me just reiterate that this entire stream is for the Finish Your Comic Club. This is the new club that I just launched. If you are a struggling, aspiring manga or comic book artist that has difficulty staying consistent or finishing up your comic or constructing a story or just staying motivated, having a community around you is really important. Having a community that can hold you accountable, that can encourage you, give you advice, all that jazz, people that you can hang out with. That's exactly what I created the Finish Your Comic Club for. So if you are interested in anything in regards to that, then definitely check it out. The link is in the description box below, so check that out whenever you can. Now, with that said, I'm going to take a small intermission. I'm going to go to the restroom real quick, and then I'll be back, and we will continue. All right. Hello. We are back, and we are going to jump right back in to where we left off. This is when the Jackal has just entered into the scene. He has just defeated the sheriff and told him that the enforcer told him to tell him that the Jackal killed me, which I think is diabolical. Like that's not okay. Oh man. Every time it's hot and cold, outside. It hasn't been cold, but it's been really, really hot. But because of that, it's been really cold inside. So every time I go inside and outside and all this other stuff, like it's just messing up my sinuses and my nose has been running. It sucks. So I hope that's not happening to you guys. If it is, then I feel your pain. But we're going to continue. So we see this Jackal. And he says, he told me something else too. Something rather interesting. And then he kills this guy, Sploosh. Oh man, that's a lot of blood. Gee willikers. And he says, apparently another famous criminal is here. He's licking his fingers. This dude's tongue is like the size of, I don't know, a forearm. Like, gee willikers. Okay, so he sees people fighting. Okay, this is Sarah and TNT Terra. Looks like she's getting an ass whooping. Who's the other schmuck? Wait, what the? There's two of them? jackpot, and then he runs off. Okay, so jackpot. This is actually a funny story. That particular sound effect I got from my brother, who said it randomly in conversation. So we were all, I think we were at like a Chinese restaurant. We were gonna do something, and like he was making a joke, basically saying like it was awesome that he, got this one thing, and he said it was jackpot. But like when he said it was really funny. So like that's every time I see that I drew this, like that was definitely in my head when I came up with this particular sound effect. But I really like this layout, the way he is running towards them, but in a way that's like really kind of sinister. I like that a lot. And also the fact that a lot of it is silhouetted kind of makes it ominous. I like that as well. So a lot of speed lines though. This particular comic is definitely in your face, definitely screaming at all times. It's definitely action packed. But yeah. Okay, so we have both of the girls. They notice that somebody's coming. Says, "You know how to fight, huh? Well, let me teach you how to kill." And then after that, he hits Sarah. She says, "What the F?" I don't spell it out because I didn't want to curse in this comic. But there are other small curse words. There shouldn't be curse words, but there is. So whatever. Anyway, da boom. All right. So I really like this building, in all honesty, and this perspective. I thought this was really cool. When I did this sound effect, this was my way of trying to make the image look better. But in all honesty, I don't think I made it look better. But it was the only thing that made sense at the time. So I wonder if I did it over, if I would redo it in a different way. Huh. Anyway, overall, that panel is pretty interesting to me. But now we have him say, "Now, time for your lesson, cutie." And then she dodges and then kicks him in the face. Boom. I loved that sequence. I always thought that was really cool. And then she hit him so hard that like he hit this right here. Man, that's crazy. And she says, "Nobody hits my sister, except." And then she turns around and sees him. And says, "Me?" And then bam, gets hit immediately down. I really liked this entire sequence. This comic in general, I really enjoy drawing. And I really think that like, in a sense of action, this is definitely one of the levels that I had reached at this particular point in time, that I was very much so feeling myself. Like, I mean, clearly, I mean, if you look at like this entire comic and you look at the way the panels are, they're all slanted. They're all like, it's super experimental. Like everything about this comic is experimental. Everything about this is just in your face, and it came out really well. Like I really like it. So anyway, he hits her, says, "I'll hit or kill anyone I want." And then he hears bang, and you see a bullet, but he dodges it, and then it bounces and hits him. He says, "What was that? Oh, haha, are you serious? I can't believe this. This is crazy. You're the bounty hunter, Ricochet Sarah." Okay, I really like this panel a lot. I like that. It looks really cool. And also, drawing this traditionally was a lot easier. Drawing these guns. I'm currently drawing a gun for the project that I'm working on. And it's digital. And I hate drawing a lot of like just real things. Or like just trinkets, or anything that like you need reference for, like soccer balls. Like, why are soccer balls so difficult to draw? Like, it's ridiculous. Soccer balls, I would say bicycles, What's another one? Cars, airplanes. These are things that stump JeyOdin. Like, I could draw them. I don't like drawing them, and it always takes longer than it needs to. But another thing to add on to that is revolver guns, especially if it is digital. Traditionally, it doesn't look like a revolver gun per se. It's definitely my own iteration of it. But at the exact same time, it was a lot more fun to draw it like this traditionally compared to drawing it digitally, because I'm drawing it digitally right now, and it's it looks good, but it's not as easy as 1, 2, 3. So, but anyway, okay. So he notices Ricochet Sarah. So, like, she's clearly famous. Like, obviously, you also have TNT Terra. She's on wanted posters. She's clearly infamous. So we have him right here. He says, "And your sis is the infamous TNT Terra." Ha 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 ha! Oh my God! I'd only heard of a lady hunter who could ricochet bullets. Who'd have thought she'd be the twin of a criminal like TNT here? Ha 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 ha! It's got to be rough collecting for a Bonnie when your face is the same as someone like her. Ha 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 ha! I hate wiping my nose. The only thing that I hate about what I did to this particular character is he had a lot of exposition that was just... his name is Jackal. Like, his entire thing was fighting. He was chaos incarnated, essentially. So there's no reason as to why he would be, like, super ranty or just, I don't know. Like, I should have just made him straightforward, not really saying much. If he did say anything, it was like 1 or 2 words. Like, I don't know. Like, I probably would redraw him in a different way. But then again, his entire appeal is he's sinister, or he's not caring. The fact that he made fun of the enforcer while killing the sheriff. Like, so it's a part of his personality. So I guess, I don't know. Like, maybe I would have made his exposition a little bit shorter. Like, I don't know. I just feel like this is a little bit too wordy right here and right here. It doesn't need to be that wordy. So that's just me, though. But then again, I guess that's all that really matters when it comes to a comic that's never going anywhere. So, like, it's in a book already, but even still, like, it's already done. So I'm not going back. Anyway, he says, "Tell me how many times you caught someone only to have yourself arrested." Arrested yourself. That's true comedy. What's your deal? All the stories I've heard about you seem like you have no aim, like you're just doing it for fun. Why? All right. So I like this as well. The fact that I line this up when she shoots the bullet, it's going to untie her. So this cool line, I thought that was really cool. But anyway, she shoots it, he dodges, and then he says, "Blood, I love it. It's smell, color, feel. Haha. Folks don't realize, they don't understand just how." Oh wow, I did cuss, and great it is to see how blood coming out of a wound you made with your bare hands, and then as it comes out of their body, you get to see their life escape the eyes like a faded memory, or maybe it's just fun killing people. Yeah, so again, I really wanted this guy to be, just evil, essentially. But I really liked his transformation right here. I thought this was awesome. Throughout that entire sequence, you see him walking towards Sarah, and TNT Terra, she gets up, she gets her TNT, and she hits it. She says, "Killing you's gonna be fun," and then she puts it inside of his jacket, and then Ricochet Sarah shoots him in the face, and then boom, he got a double whammy. He got shot in the face and a TNT blast to the back. Then after that, he comes out of that and says, "Y'all are freaking hilarious," because he immediately transformed into the Jackal. Again, I loved that sequence. I thought that was really cool. Clearly this guy is really, really strong and durable. So this would be a really fun character to bring back. If I ever brought him back, I would love to do that. I think that'd be fun. I also really like doing this tone. If you're looking at his fur, I made this tone. I did this by oh man, what did I do? I had like the spray tool. I had gray, just gray, and then the spray tool, and then I had like a the eraser scraper or whatever, and I basically like scraped away a lot of it to make it look like, you know, these strands of hair were highlights, and that's what I did to make his tone for his fur. I thought that it came out really well, so you know, hopefully you all think the same, but we'll see. All right. So now we have Ricochet, Sarah saying, "Uh-oh, he has an ability. Tara, we need to run." Yep. And then he says, "Arr!" And then they run. Sarah, in here. Then they go into this warehouse. Clearly, I didn't understand how houses were constructed back in the day of the Wild West, because I don't think a house would look like this, you know, having the side corners like this, or just I don't think a structure would look like this inside of that time frame. But I mean, it made sense to me back then. So, and there's also all these there's a lot of boxes. I drew a lot of these boxes because I was like, you know what, this is the only thing that I know how to draw that looks like it might exist in this time period. So I drew them everywhere. They will go into a warehouse filled with giant boxes that are completely empty. Like, I have no idea what is in any of these boxes, but whatever. They go there. And then the jackal, he's running after them. And then the jackal says, come out, wherever you are. It doesn't matter where you hide. I'm still gonna kill you. And then he says, okay, we can play this little game. It just makes the chase funner. Okay, we stay here for now. All right, so, yeah, so we have them right here. They're sitting down. I really like this layout. I like this shadow. I like, everything back here. I really like the way I laid this out. This is really cool. All right, now, this particular page is the main reason as to why I'm saying everything I'm saying about why the story itself, the way I told this story, the way it was produced and shown to the audience, I could have done this a lot better. Had I actually showed TNT Terra as a kid stealing bread and getting beaten up, and, you know, constantly going back and forth for more food, this entire sequence would have been better. But let me read this and then I'll get back into it. Okay, so we have Tara. She says, hey, if I don't get another chance to say it, thanks for shooting those ropes off and untying me. Are you kidding me, Tara? I didn't untie you because I'm setting you free. I need your help. I needed your help to fight this lunatic. Huh? I'm still arresting you when all this is said and done. I meant what I said. This changes nothing. You know what? Fine, arrest me. I deserve it. I am a thief, but the worst sister ever? Sarah, you have no idea. No idea how much I did and went through for you. I've stolen a lot of my life, but it all started for you. How else were we supposed to live or survive? I know you don't like it, but I'm your older sister. I risk my life for you every day. It wasn't just about feeding you. It was making sure we both slept peacefully. I fought every day so you wouldn't have to. And if I lied to you, it was for your own good. All right. For what it is, I will say I like the fact that I did it and I showed a lot of different angles. I show from behind Tara, from above them, from right next to Sarah, you know, and I also am showing their entire body plus the background. And on top of that, the 180 rule is not messed up at all throughout this entire sequence. For those of you who don't know, the 180 rule is when you will have an imaginary line in between. If there's two characters in a scene, for instance, there's a line in between them. And basically, if this character goes over this line without you showing that sequence, it, just if they go over it while they're talking, it can basically confuse the reader, especially when it comes to twins. That's for sure. However, it can confuse the reader if you do it in a way that has this character going over the 180 line without you actually explaining it or showing it in another way. Like maybe they're walking or whatever the case may be. But at every other angle, that 180 rule still applies. So that 180 line, we have Sarah right here, Tara right here. 180 line, Sarah, Tara. 180 line, Sarah. 180 line, Sarah, Tara. Sarah, Tara. So it's always, no matter what, Sarah's on the right side, Tara is on the left side. And I think I did a really good job when it came to that. So, yeah. I think I did a good job for that particular 180 rule throughout the entire comic, except for that one page where they're both talking to each other. Hold on, I think this is the only page where I purposefully funge it for the purpose of like this particular thing. Like, so for instance, when it comes to the 180 rule on this, like, let me go back. All right, so we have right here, we have Sarah right here, Tara right here. So Tara's on the left, Sarah is on the right. But then she pulls her back. And now we have the explosion, and we've changed like the angle. Oh man. We changed the angle. Because we changed the angle, now the 180 rule is going to be right here. We've changed the angle, and also like there's an explosion pushing her back and like all sort of stuff. But because of all that, I can reposition them. And instead of having Tara, TNT Tara on the left, like we have on this page, we can actually now have her on the right, and things make sense. So that's why I move her right here, and I have the explosion actually push her back. So now we have Sarah on the left and Tara on the right. So Sarah is always going to be on the left now for all of these, for this particular scene anyway. So Sarah's on the left, Tara's on the right, Sarah's on the left, Tara's on the right, Sarah's on the left, Tara's on the right, except for right here when they're talking to each other in this panel and in this panel. But like I said, I purposefully funged that for, that reason. But right here, we still have it. Sarah on the left, Tara on the right, Sarah on the left, Tara on the right, Sarah, Tara, Sarah, Tara, Sarah, Tara. So you see what I'm saying? I mean, the 180 rule is very important. It's pretty fun to implement, especially if you are dealing with a lot of talking scenes inside of your comic. Try to make sure that you are always keeping that in mind, because you don't want to confuse your audience. Like, that is the number one rule when it comes to comics. Don't confuse your audience. So, oh man, nose. Okay, all right. So next page. So next page says, so you can see whatever, so you can say whatever, believe whatever you want, but I meant what I said. I'll always protect you. You're my sister. Look, Tara, a word of advice. All right, so before I go to the next page, let me just say that, again, I like the fact that her speech was, like, it works. For what it was, but it could have hit home a lot more if she was actually, if I showed her getting beat up after, stealing something, or if I show her running away from the cops because she stole something, or if I show her actually lying to Sarah, with her hands behind her back, with her, hands like this, when Sarah's like, "Where'd you get this?" or whatever. Like, if I showed that, it would have been so much more impactful, and it also would have slowed down this comic, because there's not really a slow scene in this entire comic. For the most part. I guess the first page, but every other page has speed lines. It's all like yelling at you. Like, this entire comic is a giant So, again, admittedly, it looks decent, but I'm just saying it could have been better. But anyway, you have Jackal right here. It says, word of advice: next time you hide, shut up. And then she will occur. So much blood. He cuts her up. She says, Sarah, and then she grabs her sister, And then he's about to attack, but Sarah is like, "Don't touch my sister!" And then she shoots him in the eye. I really liked this panel. I always loved this panel. This was always fun to draw. She shoots him in the eye, and then he can't see anything. He says, "That was my eye! Next time you're dead!" And then after that, they're hiding behind more boxes because inside of this warehouse, boxes galore. It's crazy. Oh, man. Ugh, my nose. I hate this. All right. So after that, we have Sarah. She's saying, "Tara, this really hurts, but I'm trying to stop the blood. Just try and be as still as you can. I can still move a little. Okay, but still don't move. I'm gonna try and fix you up." Okay. I remember when I wrote that, I was like, "Oh, why did I put this here?" I mean, hopefully it came off like how I read it. If you had ever read this story before, hopefully it came off the way I just read it, because that's the way I envisioned it when I wrote it initially 12 years ago. So, all right. Anyway, so she says, "No, first blow that asshole up." And then she's like, "You're right. It's time for him to go boom." Then she grabs her entire skirt. Says, "There you are." Then she grabs it, and then she rolls it all up. I loved, see, this is the reason why I loved that skirt idea. This is like her super move. Like, she doesn't have any more attempts after this. This is all of her bombs. It's a bigger bomb. I just thought that this entire thing was just like super cool, and I really, really enjoyed her design for this. So hopefully you guys, also thought that was cool, because I thoroughly enjoyed. Oh no, hold on. Yeah, sorry. I thoroughly enjoyed, having her skirt be like the giant TNT. I thought that was really cool. So, all right, let's keep going. This is, "There you are." She keeps on running. So, "You can't hide forever." Then after that, you see all these small little bombs. Boom, 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 boom. "You think a couple of bombs will stop me?" It's, "Nope, but how about all of them?" And then she throws it. Boom. And then he is done, completely dead. I just like to point out, the jackal is extremely durable. Do you see? His body is still here. That was a gigantic TNT bomb. It only blew off his head, which, admittedly is insane for a Goriat. Like, this comic is not as... Well, it's not a kid comic, but, at the same time, like, gee whiz. like, this is just ridiculous. Like, how much blood and stuff is inside of this comic. But, his body's still intact. Like, the TNT did nothing to it. Like, it made more blood around it, I guess, made it smoke, but... Gee whiz, like, that's a very, very strong character. Very durable character. Anyway, so he falls right here. You see all the smoke and fire. And then she runs and says, Sarah, this is the biggest fire hazard ever as well. This, I don't know how, like, I guess fire marshals didn't exist in, this age. like if they did, like, I'm sure they visited this warehouse building and said, look, there's way too much wood inside of this confined area. This area is made out of wood, so if anything catches on fire, everything is going up. And clearly everything's about to go up because this man, jackal person, monster is on fire, so everything's about to go up. But anyway, she runs, she says, Sarah, and Sarah's passed out. And then 2 weeks later, okay, I like this background. I think this is cool. I always thought this was cool. Clearly, they took out the fire, though. So that's good. All right, so she wakes up. And then she says, Tara, where'd she go? The hell? What's this? Sarah, I'm glad you're feeling better. There are a couple things I haven't told you about yet. I know we've been at this hospital for a couple of weeks, but I haven't told you that I'm paying for it with the money I stole from Jacksontown. I stole a crap ton from there. Yeah, probably don't prove, but like always, like I said before, you probably don't approve like always, but like I said before, I do it for you. I'll always protect you, sis. And this is the best way I know how, so deal with it. P.S. I stole your horse. Mine blew up. Sonny. Love you, sisters. Tara. I gotta say, that ending is actually funnier than I remember. Two things. One, I really enjoyed drawing this comic. It was always very fun. And the second thing is, one thing that I love to do when it comes to drawing comics is add little hints and tidbits, not only for myself, but also for everybody else that might know me or know anybody around me, or just to have just something like a story to tell about it. So one thing is, my very first roommate in college, his nickname was Sonny. So I actually named this horse after him because of that. I always thought it was really fun, and then that way I could kind of remember him. So shout out to you, Abhishek. You're cool, dude. But anyway, that is Out with a Bang. I think that is it. So what do you guys think? If you have ever purchase the JeyOdin one-shots book, then you probably have already read that title. If you haven't, then the JeyOdin one-shots book, you can actually, the link for that is in the description box below. That particular book, I believe, has 6 one-shots in it. It came out a long time ago. That was towards the very beginning of me being with Saturday AM, way before the volumes of Hammer and all the other volumes that we have currently out now. So that it looks pretty old. It's the old format Saturday AM tanks, but still really cool. You can actually also buy it in our app as well. So if you just go to our app, you can buy it digitally there. But if you'd like to check out any of my other old stories, obviously there's JeyOdin Oldies, which is something inside of my Gumroad. All the links are in the description box below. But what do you guys think? Did you enjoy that reading of Out with the Bang? Did you enjoy hanging out with me? If you are actually not here during the live, hopefully you have watched this on YouTube. I know this is a really long video, and I also know that we started really late. 10 p.m. is pretty late, but this is unfortunately the only time I have where I know that I can dedicate specifically like nobody bothering me, at least right now. This might change in the future, but we'll see what happens. But I just want to reiterate, the reason why I started this entire stream is because of the Finisher Comic Club. I really wanted this to be a community that can help out any and every artist on any and every level. So if you are struggling and you just need a community, definitely check it out. I'm trying to grow this, and I need your help to do it. So if you have any questions, let me know. You can comment it below. You can just go check it out, and it might answer everything that you might be wondering. Who knows? We'll see what happens. But I guess that's it for me. Thank you again so much for watching this. I really appreciate it. You guys rock so much. And yeah, I guess we'll take it from there. So deuces, everybody.